So, I'm back in my little car studio. You see that here? So, it's actually good.
Moving around again,
Yeah,
good.
yes. Well, it has proven itself very well and useful, I think. Soundproof and everything, so it's good. So today we want to talk about butterfly. Just one specific topic or how to get into it, because I think it's a big issue for a lot of people, or it's a big question mark for a lot of people. And I want to start with a saying that would lead to another topic in the future. I want to start with butterfly is the hardest stroke to learn, and breaststroke is the hardest stroke to swim. That's usually the saying. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, I agree with that because I'm breaststroke's my worst stroke, so of course I'll agree with that. Butterfly. It's all about the timing, isn't it? Like that's what people find most difficult. Like if you're swimming front crawl freestyle, you can pretty much float and just try and throw your arms forward one at a time. Most people don't kick their legs; they just drag them. Yeah. So you can get by. Yeah. But trying to do butterfly, different story. It takes lots of effort and practice, doesn't it?
It does. I think for me the biggest problem which I see, I mean, they all are good in doing the arm movement, some sort of. And funny enough, when you look at high elbow catches in butterfly towards freestyle, they're all having less problems with the high elbow catch in butterfly than in freestyle, and they all can do the kicks when you just take a board out to do the kicks. So they can do the individual, like they can do the arms and they can do the kicks individually, but somehow they can't bring it together. And often it is the problem because they lack of the timing. And if they don't do the timing right, then this is, I think, the crucial bit. Once you have the timing right, you could. With a bit of training, with a bit of consistency in training and all that, you can literally swim for hours, even butterfly. That's just, I mean, it's a statement on the one hand, but also for me, I think it's the truth. I mean, how do you see that?
I agree again, because there's a lady that used to train at Loughborough, and she has the record for swimming the channel butterfly.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Woof. Oy.
So you really can swim butterfly for hours. And not on a flat surface in a choppy current. Oh, hello, people in the background. There you go. They're running. Excellent.
Well, this is part of the studio.
Love that.
A lively studio. Let's put it that way.
Good.
So she swam the English Channel butterfly. So we talk about 40 Ks butterfly from Dover to Calais, just butterfly.
Yep, wild, isn't it? Let me search her name because we need to give her a shout out.
Yeah, we do need to give her a shout out. I will search her name.
I can't remember her name. Just bear with me.
Yeah, don't worry. Take your time.
This is our pause now.
So listen. So I need to get this straight. So she did fly. So she started from Dover in all the waves, going through. Well, maybe this is helpful because the butterfly is kind of also wave movement. So she started off with butterfly and went all the way. So we talk about, as I said, 40 minutes. 40 Ks, round of 40 Ks. Depends on where you get off through the streams and whatever. But about 40 Ks. About 10 to 15 hours, and she swam all that butterfly. That is amazing.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
It is, but actually it proves the point, because if with a bit of training, with consistency in the training, with having mastered this what can I say, the technique and the timing right, you can literally swim for hours, and this is actually what it is.
It is true, and my memory did serve me correctly. So this is from the BBC News Channel. So this was in August 2002. I'll read it to you.
Yeah.
It says the title, Butterfly Swimmer Smashes Channel Record. So here we go. A teacher from Loughborough has entered the record, but after swimming the English Channel using the butterfly stroke quicker than anyone else has ever done before. So it says Julie Bradshaw. There we go. Julie Bradshaw. I remember the name now. A PE teacher at Loughborough University Hey, where do I teach?
You teach at Loughborough University.
Oh,
Oh,
look
you
at
might
that
gonna
win.
do it in a medley style, right? So you're gonna do fly first 25%, then next 25% backstroke, then 25% breaststroke, and then freestyle for the end, right? That would be something. Good challenge for you.
No, that's not hard enough. I'll do one way fly, one way back, one way breast, one way
Oh,
free.
okay. So you do it
No, that's a
4
challenge,
times.
isn't
Well,
it?
that is. I mean, you're gonna be there for 2 days straight, but even if not
More than
more,
that.
well,
There'll be more. Like so, back it was 2016. I was part of a relay team.
yeah,
There were 6 of us.
yeah,
A university team. So I used to coach a university in England, and 5 of my swimmers and myself swam to France and back. We were the first university team in the world to ever complete a 2-way channel crossing, and
wow.
it took us 24 hours and 10 minutes.
Ooh.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
There was like, to get your sea legs. The waves were like 1.5 meters for the first, say, 2 hours. So even the officials that were not the pilots on the boat, but the official recorders that were recording what we were doing, they were being sick everywhere. We were being sick. There was supposed to be, I think there was about 7 other teams that were supposed to be going off that day. They all bailed or they started and they quit, but we did not want to quit. But anyway, horrible. So we only went 2 ways and it took us a full 24 hours.
Crazy,
so, yeah,
crazy.
I don't know, long times. So there we go. Yeah, just let me finish this off. It says, Julie Bradshaw, a PE teacher at Loughborough University, completed the grueling 22-mile swim in 14 hours and 18 minutes.
Yeah.
And she did it for Rainbow's Children Hospice, which is based in the East Midlands, and she raised loads of money. How good is that then?
That is amazing. So Julie Bradshaw, a name to remember. So here we have it. So shout out to Julie Bradshaw. That's amazing. So actually it proves the point that you can swim for hours with butterfly if you get the timing right, if you get the stroke right. And again, coming back to the technical part of this call, a lot of people, as they understand how to do the proper the proper arm movement most of the time. I even see that with some people. Yeah, they just start off, they do the proper movement, even as I said, with the high elbow in the stroke itself, and the kicks as well. So they have this whip movement, even from starting from your chest going down. So here because it's a long because this is a short axis stroke where you have one X which is fixed. Other than freestyle and backstroke, where you have the middle X fixed and you turn around that, you would have in butterfly the short axis from shoulder, like chest, shoulder to shoulder around your chest would be fixed, and from there you start the movement. And then when they need to bring it together, they don't get it. And usually, how I explain it or how I see it is a rhythm-based thing, and it's also empathizing. I mean, if you do sprints, obviously you need to have both strokes equally emphasized. That is another thing which has changed over time, but it's an emphasizing thing to learn it. So what that means is you will need to have a rhythm like 1, 2, 1, 2. And 1 is not at the back, 1 is at the beginning. So when your hand or your arms enter the water, so it's 1, you have this 1 kick. When your hands enter the water, so you have 1 kick with it, and so that's 1. And when they go back, you have like a push off, and then you have the second kick, also pushing with your legs down. And this is usually when people are starting to realize, oh, that makes sense. So it's really 1, 2, 1, 2, rather than anything else. I don't know how you brought this kind of rhythm thing across to your swimmers or to swimmers you know.
Yeah, it's pretty tough for them to get their head around it. And obviously, as you've just explained there, it depends on whether the swimmer is aiming to do a sprint 50, for example, or whether they're going to be madness and go and train for a 200 fly. Can't think of a worse event, actually.
I loved it. I was a good flyer, so I loved it. It's one of the craziest. Listen, hey, my idols were always Phelps and Michael Phelps and Chet Leclos, and so it's an absolute, and it's also for me, it's the king, like it's a king discipline because it's for me, butterfly, I'm a big fan of butterfly. For me, butterfly is the most elegant stroke in the swimming part. I mean, because you when you master it, it always looks good. It doesn't matter who masters it, but once
Yeah.
you master it, everyone looks good when they do butterfly and they can do it. And yeah, so that's it. I mean, I rarely seen people to do it that it doesn't look really great. There are a couple of examples, but we don't need to go into that. But yeah, but as I said, for me, it all starts with the timing, that they get the timing around of the
I'm gonna,
1, 2,
I,
1, 2.
You just mentioned Chad. I love his approach to racing. Just get out there, go out, give yourself every opportunity, and then hang on for dear life.
Yeah, true. You're right. He's like that, and I also was happy that this year at the World Championship, he could come back to be the world champion in 200 meter butterfly. It took him long enough. I think was it 6 or 7 or 8 years even. I don't know, since his last one, and he had to take a lot, but yeah, he came back. He had his comeback, some sort of, because he always believed himself. I mean,
yeah,
he's a really interesting guy when it comes to swimming, and his career is very much interesting, because usually when swimmers come, they come, they're good, and then they leave again. There are a couple of those which they started off being good. They've been good for some time, and him was special that he at some point he was still good, just everyone else was much better, or caught up and got better than him, and so he had to close the gap again, and it took him quite some time. And so yeah, I'm happy for him that he came back. So yeah, Jet Leclos is definitely someone you need to have a look at to watch his style. I mean,
that's right. Amazing. So you've said this before. Like, fly is all about timing. Yeah. It's really difficult getting people to understand where to put the 2 kicks per full stroke. That's always difficult. And I guess that the key things. Actually, I just said key. When I was taught fly back in the 80s, I got told to imagine the shape of a keyhole, not a key, but the keyhole.
Yeah, okay.
So you enter, just within your shoulder width apart. You'll then sweep out a little bit. You'll then sweep in a little bit, and then you sweep back out a little bit. And I guess that matches the kind of the 3 parts of the stroke anyway. So you've got the entry, the setup, which is the catch. We've then got the pull, and then you've got the recovery over the top. Yeah. And again, I guess the recovery is up to you.
Yeah.
The recovery is all personal preference. Some people really like to keep low and swing their arms. Oh, look at your camera's on one again. There we go, showing off, moving and shaking.
You lost that one, I don't know. Don't get yourself distracted with my cool gadgets.
Oh man, it's just because I'm jealous.
I get it.
I'm not a hater, actually. No, I'm loving it. I'm just jealous. So you could really swing your arms over. You could have a straight arm recovery. You can have a slight bend in your elbow. Lots of people got different recovery, but I'd say the key thing that people that are struggling with butterfly, once they kind of get the basics right, the thing that they slow down is they don't push past their thigh at the end. Yeah. That last part really does propel you through the water, and a lot of people don't focus on that. They'll start their recovery too early, so they'll pull their arms out too soon.
But then you have again the mismatch of the timing of the 2, because you don't get the 2, and which is really important. So you really need to have the 1, 2, and it's not forgiving like in freestyle, where your strokes can get shorter and shorter and shorter, and there it is really important. So when you have this timing thing, as I said, you master now the kicks, and you mastered the arms, and you mastered some sort of the recovery. And yeah, don't be tricked when you do one arm drills, the other one arm drills, and get most of the timing there. Once you put it all together, again, the timing usually gets mismatched when they might want to do the 1, but then they don't finish properly. The 2 get some sort of lost, or the kick comes, but the arm's already out, and so there is a mismatch. And then usually have this 1, 2, and 1, 2, and then the stroke, 1, 2, and then the stroke, instead of having really 1, 2, 1, 2 in the end. So that is usually what I see with this mismatch or with the problem itself, I think.
Yeah, and it's with butterfly, it's really hard to get right. Like it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and with, say, for example, training front crawl or freestyle, you can easily put a pull buoy in to help your body position, and then you can start focusing and isolate certain aspects of the stroke down. Whereas butterfly, it's really difficult to do that. You can't put a pull buoy in because then you stop that undulation and the oscillation, the full body oscillation that you need to be able to then put all the bits together of the kick and the arms.
That's actually a good point, and that's why I'm saying that's actually a really good point, and that's why I'm saying usually this timing won't come like from one day to the other. Yes, somehow, yes. Now, while I'm saying that, it's actually not true. So the timing to get it correct will come from one day to the other, but you need to do it over and over again. So it's not something which I tell you now. You think you're applying it, and so on and so forth. It's more like you do it consistently. Wrong, you do it wrong. You do it wrong. I tell you the correct technique, and you do it wrong. And one day you go jump in a pool or seen a video of yourself or whatsoever, and then it makes click, and then it works. It's something which persists. It's not something which you get led onto. It's more something which it doesn't work, and suddenly it works. It's more that, and then it's amazing. That's this hurdle which you get to. So and I said, swimming needs patience. So you need to be patient when it comes to swimming. You can't just start and be a super flyer in the end.
That's right. And going back to our little chat earlier about swimming the channel, the first known person to cross the channel, Captain Matthew Webb, his famous saying is something like, "Nothing great comes easy."
Yeah.
So that just reflects what you were saying. Everything takes time,
persistence,
perseverance.
So I guess to round it all up, I think the butterfly, yes, it is the hardest stroke to learn because it actually needs this extra patience. But once you learn it, it's actually pretty easy or easier to swim. And yeah, breaststroke for another time is the hardest stroke to swim. I know you look into that.
Definitely. That's what makes a good medley swimmer. Hey, I've got a quick question to finish off, actually.
Yeah, good.
When was the last time you swam butterfly, Marcus? Did you ever have a race recently?
Yeah, I actually did race, but it's like in...
Oh, yeah? How did you get on?
Sorry, I lost by a margin, and funny enough, to my surprise, we both were really fast. Actually, the two people who raced against each other were you and me, so that was not my last sort of race I had. But actually, there again, I must say, I was surprised how fast we were in the end. I mean, I looked at the time, I said, what? I mean, I haven't, it's not so far off good. I've never been a good sprinter, but it's not so far off my best time. So it's quite strange for me. It was.
We both didn't want to lose. That was what it was.
Yeah, true.
We really pushed each other. It was a great race.
It was. So yeah. To round it all up, I lost and Mr. here won. So
any footage anywhere?
Yeah. There's on Instagram on Instagram Scale Swimming Instagram account, on Marcus Martal Instagram account. There is the proof I lost the race. I started off well. I was ahead for 40%, and the last for 40% for 35-40 meters, and the last 15-10 meters I actually missed out on it. Like I lost. So I need to say I lost. Yeah, unfortunately.
No, it was we were both winners, which was excellent. And anyway, the next event you said that we're going to do a further distance, maybe a 200.
Maybe look at that 200-meter butterfly.
Good one. Oh no! Oh man! All right. I mean, you're the winner already. I'll give it to you. I don't even know whether I'd complete it. No, I would complete it. I'd make myself complete it. But you'd smash me.
So let's finish on that positive, devastating for me note. And let's revenge us all, huh?
It was great talking, Marcus.
Or how the Uthrid from Bebbenberg used to say, destiny is all.
Very wise.